Amira, you are a hiker, adventurer, traveller, documenting your journeys around the world and inspiring Muslim women to travel. Do you want to tell us a bit about how you got into travelling and hiking?
So when I was 21, everyone was getting married, we finished uni, and I just knew that, like, I didn't want to go down that route. So I didn't tell my mom. I booked a ticket to Paris, and I was like, I'm going to go to Paris and I'm going to come back. But actually, whilst I was going to Paris, I decided that I'm going to go backpacking. And back then, we're talking a good, like, nearly, I'm not going to expose my age, but yeah, a very long time ago, I was like, it wasn't normal, especially for South Asian girls, Muslim girl, or a girl in general to go backpacking through Europe. I had nothing planned. I just had my small bag, and I was so sick and tired of waiting to do things with people, and I just felt like there was no one out there that was into the same things as I was, especially from my community. So I was like, I'm just going to do it myself. And it was the best thing that I ever did. And that's when truly I discovered, oh my God, this is Wanderlust. Fast forward, in life, I got married, got divorced, and I went through a whole sort of self-discovery and healing process. Through that, I started hiking. So when I started hiking, I realized that there's a whole new world out there with the outdoors, hiking, nature, and my journey towards healing and going through the divorce, but then finding out who I am through nature, finding out who I am as a Muslim, and just reconnecting with my deen and my faith on a whole different spiritual level. And then for the past 5 years, I've been traveling around the world, solo, going to some of the most remote places in the world, like in the depths of Kyrgyzstan, into the Amazon jungle, into Antarctica, the North Pole, and alhamdulillah, I get to take my community with me now as well.
That is so amazing to hear about, and I just wanted to pick up on the fact that you went to Antarctica. Like, how was that trip? Can you tell us a bit about it?
We're going to be here for like, I don't know, months, because I can literally sit here and talk about Antarctica. It's one of the most incredible places that I've been to. And people used to always say to me, Amira, you know, apart from, Makkah, Medina and Palestine, they were like, what is your favorite place? And I would always struggle, to choose something, but now I can say it was Antarctica. Where humans haven't been and where it's so untouched and so raw. And as a Muslim, when you go to this place, you see the depth of God's creation. You see the depth of how he created this world and how much there is to see more of. And just being around the wildlife, I love penguins. So literally being with penguins, I felt like I was in like a Nat Geo documentary. I grew up as a little girl watching Nat Geo, watching David Attenborough, watching all of these shows, and then to be there with a Muslim group, to be there for the first ever halal expedition, to be there and, record shows that it was probably the first ever like largest Jummah prayer that we did as a group in Antarctica. So how many people can say that they've been to Antarctica and done Jummah? And then I think it was just so, because we were so away from the noise, there's no signal, there's like no humans. You actually see the world as it is. Yes, the people in the world, they make things horrible for us, but when you go to a place like that, you see the beauty of Earth. You hear the sounds of the glaciers breaking, the ice crumbling, but also you then have this part where you go back and you see that, as humans, we've disrupted the world, global warming, all of these like things that we've done, and what are we doing to protect Earth? So yeah, there was just so many lessons to take away, but one of the most incredible places that I've been to.
No, that definitely sounds like such an eye-opening trip. How has travelling and hiking impacted your life? Like, how has it empowered you?
I think they say that live in this world as a traveller in Islam, right? They live in this world as a musafir and as a passerby. And I feel like living as a traveller, travelling through, meeting different nations and tribes, meeting different communities, being stripped away from your comforts is what's allowed me to be. It stripped those layers of me. It's allowed me to be who I am today, but it's also allowed me to understand the beauty of our religion. It's allowed me to detach from the world and all of these things that we have and actually have like meaningful connections. And there's so much of the world to see. We've just seen like a small part of it. But I think most importantly, like, as a Muslim, we have this thing where I think for me especially, we were taught Islam with fear and it was scary. And I feel like through travel and through being in nature, it's allowed me to connect with my religion in such a beautiful way that I feel a lot more spiritually inclined. And it's given me confidence. It's allowed me to be alone and be with myself, because that again is something that we're really scared of. But also it's allowed me to create this opportunity for other women to come and join. And now they get to see the world with me. And I get to show the world through my eyes to all of my community and my followers. So yeah.
That's just what I was going to get onto, the fact that you're helping other Muslim women do this. So do you want to tell us a bit about the Wanderlust Women and why you founded it and how it has broken down barriers for other Muslim women?
Yeah. So, the Wanderlust Women, after I did my first hike, it was like God just gave me like so many different openings. And one of the things that I noticed was I was the only niqabi, hijabi, brown girl in this space. And I was like, okay, like I always knew that I wanted to do something to help women, but I just didn't know where and how and what. And I started like posting a little bit and everyone was like, oh, we would love to come with you. And before that, everyone was like, oh no, that's boring. We don't want to go for a walk. And now everyone's like, we want to do something. So I knew that, okay, this is the time for me to create something. So I created Instagram and I was like, okay, let's just see what happens. The next day there were like thousands of followers and everyone was like, when's the first event? So I was like, oh, I actually need to do an event now. So did the first hike and that was it. Never looked back. Started in the UK, doing lots of UK events, became a mountain leader, became an expedition leader. And then we did the first trip abroad. But it's not just traveling. It's not just us, going for a jolly. It's deeper than that. Women are coming to heal. Women are coming to find themselves. Women are coming to connect. Women are coming to just find out who they are without being, the roles that they have. But most importantly, everything is God-centered. So we always go back to faith and getting closer to Allah, and just, being, connected to our soul because we're so disconnected.
Thank you. That's amazing, like the way that you are empowering Muslim women through what you do. But what advice would you give to other Muslim women who might be afraid and they've not taken that step yet, or, they're afraid to solo travel, or maybe they think that they're not allowed to?
It is, and it is scary, don't get me wrong. First of all, coming from, as a woman, you've got that. Then, you're a woman of color. Then you come from a Muslim background, as that's your faith, etc. There's lots of things. And if you're wearing hijab, if you're not, niqab, how you look, all these things play a factor. So it's not to undermine, like, not being nervous and being scared. Of course, yeah, but you have to make that first step. And that's why we have these groups, we have these safe spaces, that have been created. So if you do want to come, join that group. I know, yes, okay, it might be scary to join a group, but at least you're not just going out there on your own. Like, I was like, I don't have anyone, I'm just going to go. But now we have these different spaces, we have community events, and it's important that we come out and, come to the events, because if you don't, then you're not going to meet other people. And then once you build your confidence up, you've met other people that are similar to you, like-minded, and then from there, you can build your confidence to do something. And I always say start small. So for example, if you want to go for a walk, find maybe a local park. And then maybe if you've done that a few times, then find like the next town to you and go there. And then you can basically build your way up. You don't have to go climb Mount Everest on the first one. It takes that. And I think it's just so important to find your tribe and your community. And when you do that, the confidence that it gives you, then you don't have to be alone because you've got like-minded people with you. And I think with the whole thing about not being allowed and you can't do this and you can't do that, I always have that belief that your intention is to get closer to Allah and for you to be connected to yourself. If you have that, then just lead by intention and it'll always get to where you need to be.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Amira.